Welcome to the Vertical Sky Journal, the podcast that brings you everything you could ever want to know about Kilimanjaro. The climbing and the fitness, altitude and nutrition, the environment, the wildlife, and the people at the heart of the mountain. Today, the question every climber asks before any other: which route is best? 6 ways up the mountain, compared honestly, and the one we would choose for you.
Yeah, and it's ERM.
Yeah.
It's a massive decision, isn't it? Because when you look at a mountain of this scale, you naturally make certain assumptions.
Right, you look at the height and just think, I need to be an absolute machine to get up there.
Exactly. People see the multi-day itineraries, the vertical gain, and they immediately sort of categorize it as this extreme athletic test.
I mean, you do assume you've got to treat it like a vertical marathon, don't you?
You do. And the immediate instinct is to just focus entirely on physical conditioning.
Yeah, months in the gym, running with heavy packs.
Spot on. Pushing your cardio limits at sea level. But ERM, the empirical data on who actually makes the summit, tells a completely different story.
Wait, really? So the fitness isn't the main factor?
The mountain is remarkably indifferent to your marathon times or, your weightlifting capacity.
Yeah.
When you look at who turns back, that whole athletic endurance model just shatters.
But surely, surely if you're an elite athlete, you've got a massive advantage. Like, your muscles are used to extreme fatigue, so couldn't you just power up in, say, 5 days?
It's a really logical assumption,
Right.
but it completely ignores the physics of high altitude.
Right.
Physiology above 4,000 meters just plays by entirely different rules. We have to draw a really stark line between muscular fitness and cellular acclimatization.
So your legs might be fine to keep walking.
Exactly. Your legs are perfectly happy on a steep incline. But if your red blood cells haven't adapted to the thinner air, well, all that muscular strength is basically useless.
Because it's not about the strength to take the step, it's about the the oxygen actually being available to your muscles.
Precisely. As you go up, the barometric pressure drops. The percentage of oxygen in the air is the same, but the pressure means those molecules are just spread much further apart.
Wow. So every breath literally gives you less.
Yeah, exactly. So your body has to fundamentally alter its internal chemistry. It has to produce more red blood cells just to capture what little oxygen is there.
And I'm guessing that process just takes time. Like, you can't rush biology.
You really can't. It's an agonizingly slow process. No amount of willpower or sea-level fitness can speed it up. And that brings us to the one governing truth of Kilimanjaro.
Which is?
Days matter more than fitness.
Right. Okay, that's crucial.
It is everything. Across all the routes we're going to look at, longer itineraries consistently outperform shorter ones. Time is literally the only currency that matters at altitude.
So when you're picking a route, you're not just picking a pretty trail. You're picking an acclimatization strategy.
That is exactly the way to look at it. You pull that lever to make sure your biology can keep up with the geography.
Brilliant. Okay, so with that rule in place, let's get into the 6 main routes. Because they all have their own sort of personality, don't they?
They do, yeah. Very distinct characters. So let's start with the top recommendation, that when we'd actually choose for our own families. Lemosho.
Ah, Lemosho, beautiful route. And usually done over 8 days, isn't it?
Yes, 8 days. It starts over on the remote western side. You begin walking through this incredibly dense, ancient rainforest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, before moving up onto the Shira Plateau, and then eventually across these spectacular southern ice fields. And because it's an 8-day trek, it has one of the highest summit success rates on the mountain.
Because of that governing truth you just mentioned.
Exactly. It's the perfect mix of aesthetics and biology. The transition from green forest to alpine desert is stunning, but structurally, it forces a deliberate pace.
So you're banking those essential altitude days early on.
Spot on. Long before the severe demands of summit night, your body is quietly doing the work. It's the ultimate all-rounder.
So it's quiet, it's beautiful, and it gives you the time you need. But it's not the only way up from the west, is it? What about Masham?
Ah, the whiskey route. Yes. Masham is the classic dramatic ascent, where Lemosho is the comprehensive journey. Masham is high drama.
It's the most popular trail on the mountain, isn't it?
By far. It shares some of the southern traverses with Lemosho, but it's steeper, much steeper, and significantly busier.
And it has a very famous feature, doesn't it? The Barranco Wall.
The Barranco Wall is magnificent. It's a great set piece of the route. You hit this imposing rock face midway through, and it requires a scramble.
Just to clarify for you listening, a scramble basically means using your hands, right? Not ropes and harnesses, but you're on all fours occasionally.
Exactly. You're using all four limbs to get over the rock steps. It's exhilarating. It breaks up the walking and tests your nerve a bit.
I can see why it's so popular. It sounds like a proper adventure. But with it being steeper, does that affect the time?
Massively. The advice is strictly that Mashami is best over 7 days, not 6. Athletic climbers often want to rush it, but shortchanging your time on a steep gradient is dangerous.
Right, because ascending rapidly is what triggers mountain sickness.
Precisely. The 7-day version gives you a crucial day to climb high to the lava tower and sleep low at Bronco Camp. It forces the adaptation, but lets you recover.
Okay, so that's the busy south and west sorted. But what if you want to avoid the crowds entirely?
Then we move to the northern slopes. The northern circuit. This is for people who place an absolute premium on isolation.
The longest continuous path, right? 8 or 9 days?
Yes, typically 9 to really do it properly. You circle the northern face miles away from the heavily trafficked trails. It is the quietest route overall.
And I'm guessing, given the 9 days, the success rate's pretty good.
It is the absolute highest summit success rate of any path on the mountain.
Okay, but let's be honest about the trade-off here. 9 days is a long time to sleep in a tent on frozen ground.
It is.
Is the solitude really worth that extra physical attrition, not to mention the cost of a longer expedition?
Well, it hinges entirely on your personal priorities. Yes, the physical toll of camping that long is undeniable, but the physiological security of that 9th day is immense.
So it's basically the ultimate insurance policy for your summit.
Exactly. And walking for days across a vast, empty alpine desert with just your team, it turns it into a profound wilderness expedition, not just a tourist trek.
Okay, but what if someone wants the quiet of the north, but they just don't have 9 days or the budget for it?
That is where Wrong Guy comes in. Wrong Guy is a geographical outlier in the best way.
It's the only one that actually starts in the north, isn't it? Near the Kenyan border.
Yes. And it's a very gentle, forgiving trail, usually done over 7 days. It's a lovely, trusted choice for first-timers.
But it has a secret weapon, doesn't it? Something to do with the weather.
It does. It's the premier choice during the wetter months. It all comes down to the microclimates of the volcano.
Right, because the weather usually hits from the south and west.
Exactly. The moisture-laden clouds hit the bulk of the mountain, get forced up, and dump all their rain on the southern and western slopes.
Leaving the north in a rain shadow.
Spot on. So while climbers on Lemosho or Mashab might be in heavy downpours, people on Rongai often have completely clear skies and a dry trail.
That is a brilliant strategic move for anyone forced to climb in April or November.
A strategic masterpiece, I'd say.
Okay, so we've covered the main compass points. Now we have the 2 outliers, the extremes of the mountain. Let's talk about Marangu, the famous Coca-Cola route.
The oldest trail on Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
And completely unique because it's the only route with permanent A-frame wooden huts.
Ah, a proper mattress and a solid roof every night. That has got to be tempting.
It is deeply tempting, especially after trekking through freezing wind and sleet. It's also the most affordable route because the infrastructure is already there.
But there's a catch, isn't there? A pretty serious flaw.
A fatal flaw, yes. Because it's gentle underfoot and has huts, people are tempted to condense it into a 5-day itinerary.
Which completely violates our one governing truth. Days over fitness.
Utterly violates it.
Yeah.
The 5-day Marangu gives the absolute least acclimatization on the mountain. The success rate is terrible.
So it's a false economy.
Completely.
Yeah.
You save money and get a mattress, but you drastically reduce your biological chance of summiting.
You might not even make it to the final hut before the sickness hits.
Exactly. Which is why the advice is uncompromising. Always take the 6-day version. That extra day at Harambo Hut is the difference between success and a miserable retreat.
Good to know. Okay, finally, if Marangu is the extreme of comfort, what is the extreme of ambition?
That would be Shira. Shira is the boldest start on the mountain.
Because you don't start in the rainforest, do you?
No. You are transported by vehicle directly up the western slopes, and you step out onto the Shira Plateau at nearly 3,600 meters.
Goodness. So you just bypass the jungle completely?
Completely. The views are spectacular, you're immediately above the cloud line, and it's very quiet, but the biological toll is severe.
Because you haven't given your body any graded exposure.
Exactly. It's an immense shock to your physiology. You miss those crucial early adaptive phases.
So who is this route actually for?
It demands immense respect. It strictly asks for previous high-altitude experience. You have to know intimately how your biology handles that sudden exposure. It is strictly for the seasoned altitude veteran.
Wow. Okay, so we have our 6 distinct characters. Let's actually synthesize this for you listening. Let's make it a simple choice summary.
Perfect.
If someone wants the absolute best all-rounder scenery, quiet start, high success,
Lomo show, without a doubt, over 8 days.
what if they want the highest success rate and the deepest solitude, and they've got the time?
Then it's the Northern Circuit, if you have those 9 days.
How about a gentlest first climb, or if they have to go in the rainy season?
Wrong guy. The rain shadow makes it the smartest choice.
And if someone really wants a real bed, or they're watching the budget?
Marangu. But critically, only on a 6-day itinerary.
If they want high drama, value, and the classic experience?
Masham. The whiskey route over 7 days.
And finally, the connoisseur's wilderness start.
That belongs to Shira. For the experienced only.
It really does demystify the whole process when you break it down like that. It's just matching the topography to the person.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
But before we finish, there are 3 universal truths we have to mention. Things that apply no matter which route you pick.
We've covered the first one heavily. Days beat fitness. Patience is a biological mandate.
Yes. You simply cannot outrun cellular adaptation. Which leads right into the second truth. Pole.
Slowly, slowly. It's not just a tourist slogan, is it?
Not at all. It is the core operational strategy for survival at altitude. Walking slower than you feel you need to conserves vital energy.
So you avoid crossing into that anaerobic state.
Exactly. If you create an oxygen debt at altitude, your body simply can't repay it. Pole forces you to walk at the exact speed your red blood cells can handle.
It's a total suspension of ego.
It really is. And that humility brings us to the third and most vital truth. On every single route, your summit is carried by the guides and porters around you.
The logistics are just staggering, aren't they?
Unbelievable. The Tanzanian crew carry the heavy canvas tents, the food, the portable toilets. They dismantle camp, run past you on the trail, and set it up before you even arrive.
And they're effectively frontline medical staff, too.
Absolutely. They conduct comprehensive twice-daily health checks. They use pulse oximetry, monitor your heart rate, and carry emergency oxygen.
Which is why they deserve to be paid and treated properly. It's not just a nice idea, it's essential.
It's non-negotiable. Reaching the top is never a solo triumph. It's a massive team effort, and their expertise is the only reason you get there safely.
It completely shifts your perspective, doesn't it? It's not about conquering a mountain. It's an exercise in gratitude. You're being safely managed through a hostile environment.
Quite. The mountain dictates the terms, and the crew facilitates your passage.
It's a remarkable lesson, really. Stripping away your sea level advantages, forcing patience, and relying on the people around you. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, do subscribe so you never miss the latest from the Vertical Sky Journal. You will find a full written version of this episode over on our journal at vertical-sky.com, and we would love you to come and say hello on Instagram, where we are at Vertical Sky TNIZW. Until next time, pole, and keep dreaming of the mountain.